Tol, iwan tayo ng grupo. Pero dyan lang yung sundan natin. Nariski ko si Mike. Ayan, mas malinaw na. Maririnig na natin si Kuya. Ayan na, nakahabol na tayo. Tagal ko kasi bago nahanap to eh. Kasi di ba bago yung daming bulsa. Hindi ko patulo kung saan ko pinaglalagay. Talagang legit. The Mint ng 1816, formerly the Ram Hospital, Sydney's oldest survival public building.
Alright, so if you're already missing Macquarie, he's right there as well. Can't get away from him. But the first thing he did was build us a new hospital. The hospital for the first 20 years was a tent. Not very useful. So he started building a building. England wouldn't give him any money for that. They said, we gave you the tent. Use that. Well, he needed a new way to pay for his hospital. He thought about tax. What could he tax that people in Sydney loved? Rum. He really loved rum. It ran the colony. We even used it as money for a little while. He went to 3 businessmen and said, I'll give you guys exclusive rights to the import and sale of rum in Sydney for 5 years if you use the profits to build me a hospital. Not a bad deal, because this is the southern wing of the hospital. We never even used it. It was extra. We drank a lot of rum, right? The southern wing had a few uses over the years. The main one started in 1854 when it became the first branch of the Royal Mint outside of London, keeping a closer eye on the gold rushes. Nowadays, it's a small but free museum open on weekdays 9 to 5 about the Mint. It's also a restaurant and a small exhibition space. But we'll keep heading down Macquarie Street and leave out the rest of our Royal Hospital. This one they call a fountain. Technically, I guess it counts. But he was donated by an Italian sculptor in 1968 whose father and brother were surgeons in the hospital as a thank you to them. The idea is you come and donate money to Will Porcellino, it goes to help the people in the hospital, and you get good luck by, of course, rubbing the nose. If you want luck in other parts of your life, you can rub other parts of his body. Make it fun. I'll leave that to you guys and wait for the next session.
Yan tol, tour pa rin tayo. Dito tayo sa kasama yung mga tropa. Pakalamig! Meron pa rin isang grupo dito. Ano naman to? Ayan yung mga lengguwahe nila para maintindihan. Dito tayo sa English. Mas marami tayong maging target. Saka hindi man natin maintindihan yung pagsalita. Dito tayo sa English. Ano to share na to? Commando Memorial. Sa Vietnam War, Afghanistan, Timor-Leste, Iraq. May mga kamag-anak sila ng na nag-sacrifice ng World War II tapos Vietnam War. Yun yung monument nun. Tignan nyo yung ganda ng building dito tol. Sunod pa rin tayo dito kay Kuya. Kasi namamagnet ako ng t-shirt niya. Nakalagay free. Sunod lang tayo kay Kuya. Ano ba to? Parang stock. Parang yung yung slide sa stock exchange, no? At saka yung sa Mercury, yung garantisadong gamot ay laging bago. Parang ganun. Saan tayo pupunta, Kuya? Ito, mga bagong ginagawang gusali. Galing dito, no? May mga ganito. Sana may ganito din sa atin. Palagay ko meron din dito sa atin, eh. Yung lang, via donation. Ayos din kasi mas palagay ko interesante yung history natin. Gawa nang na-colonize tayo ng napakaraming bansa. Sunod pa rin tayo kay Kuya. Palapit na uli tayo sa Town Hall, tol. Baka doon uli yung magiging spot natin pabalik. Let's go! Turista tayo dito, tol, Tingnan nyo, tol. Martin's Place. Dito yun, pababa yung Martin's Place Station. Ito mga Rolex to, no?
Alrighty, so I'll get to the flowers in a minute, but we've been walking down through Martin Place. That's the whole financial pedestrian area. It's the financial hub of the city. Right, it's got all the big banks. Right at the top of the concrete building was the Reserve Bank of Australia, where they set all the interest rates. The Commonwealth Bank further down that way. And this one here in the corner, Macquarie Bank, of course. Yeah. Now, he didn't name that one himself. He got away with that. But in the next section up, there was an empty red section of the building that used to be a Lindt cafe, like the chocolate company Lindt. Now, in December 2014, that cafe was held hostage by a lone jihadist gunman on Islamic State mistake. He wasn't actually connected to them, but he thought he was anyway. He held 10 customers and 8 workers at gunpoint for 17 hours. In the early hours of the 16th of December, the government heard a loud bang inside. They burst inside, there was a brief exchange of gunfire, and one hostage was killed by the gunman. One was unfortunately killed by a police bullet ricochet. There were lots of injuries, and the gunman himself was also killed by the police. In memory of those death counters, this entire area was blanketed with flowers. The flowers were mulched for fertilizer. These flowers were hand trucked and placed into the clouds as a permanent. And you might have noticed that the building was empty. Like I said, well, it did survive the siege. It didn't survive COVID. Right? It turns out a luxury cafe in the middle of the city with no one around. It doesn't really do it. So there is signs of life in there at the moment. There could be something in there, but I don't think it'll be enough to have one. So that's all the flowers that I've done. But we'll head further down and show you some symbols of Australia.
So yun tol, yung lugar pala na yun, ano yun? 2014, merong nangyaring hostage crisis doon. Tapos parang commemorative na, parang tribute nila doon sa mga may dalawang namatay na hostage. Nilagyan nila ng embedded sa ilalim na parang permanent flower na artificial para magbigay alaala doon sa mga namatay. Bali, ang namatay doon pala tol, hostage namatay, 2, sabi ni Kuya. Tapos yung isa natalbogan ng bala, tapos yung isa napatay ng gunman. Tapos napatay din ng pulis yung gunman. Yun yung nangyari. Pero, yung tinuturo ko niyang building kanina, nakasurvive pa rin yun pagkatapos nun. Pero, nung COVID, hindi pinalad, kaya medyo nalugi. Yun, pinatayo ng bago ko na.
Okay, so this used to be one of those big banks, the Commonwealth Bank of Australia. Now it's just some shops now, but it still has the Commonwealth, the Australian Commonwealth coat of arms above the door. Right, so we've got the kangaroo up there on the left, the emu up on the right, holding up the shield of Australia. Now why did we choose those two animals? Anyone know? Not just because they live there. They can't walk backwards. They can turn around, they just can't take a step backwards. Their anatomy doesn't work like that. It's genuinely true. It's a symbol. It means if they can't take a step back, neither can the shrimp. They're also very tasty. Kangaroo we eat more commonly than meat. Emu's quite hard to get your hands on. But kangaroo is high in protein, low in fat, environmentally sustainable as well. Hunted wild instead of farmed, so ethically a little bit better as well. And fairly cost effective if you cook it yourself. Just don't be put off by the smell of the raw meat. The raw meat smells pretty bad. Once you cook it, it's fine. Okay? Just don't be afraid by the raw meat smell. But there are some places you can try it in Sydney. They tend to be more down in the rocks. Okay? So down along George Street, there's a couple of them. I'll tell you the names now. I'll point them out again when we're down there. The Orient Hotel. It's right on the corner down on George Street, very easy to find. The Orient Hotel, they do kangaroo steaks. The Rocks Cafe, very simple name, the Rocks Cafe, also on George Street, they do kangaroo burgers. So we've got a couple of options there. I'll give you some more later on in the tour, but for now we'll head down to the bottom of the market.
Yun, tol. Meron palang ano dito. Yung kangaroo, kinakain kasi yung karne nun, tol. Pinapaliwanag ni Kuya. Inuulit ko lang, ano? Parang translator. Pero yun yung pinapaliwanag ni Kuya, tol. Ano? Yung kangaroo dito ay kinakain, tol. Ito dati, naabutan ko pa itong bukas, tol. Pa-register ng unang-una namin bangko dito. Nag-iba na, tol. Nag-iba na. Oh. Naabutan ko pa yung bukas, tol. Ganda ng fountain, tol, oh. Si Kuya, panay ang picture. Nabot ko pa itong bukas, tol. 2019? O, tama, 2019. Sara na, tol. Kaya pala yung sinesearch ko sa maps, wala na. So, na pala, napalitan na ng Tapos yung pinapaliwanag ni Kuya, tol, may mga hindi masyado maganda yung pero pagka naluto na, sarap. Testingin natin sa mga ibang araw. Pagka may extra tayong budget. Ayan, tol, lakad tayo uli dito. Check ko lang isang phone ko. Kasi baka nag-message siya si Parent Dexter. Dito na tayo sa Martin's Place na tol.
Alright, so we're at the bottom of the Martin Place now, and we've got the Senator. This is a memorial to the Anzac soldiers, the Australia and New Zealand Army Corps. This is where thousands of young women signed up to go fight for the First World War. It's also where we celebrated the anniversary of the First World War. So we have a lot of big military celebrations, including the most important one for Australians, Anzac Day. Just last Tuesday, the 25th of April. In commemorating the day the Anzacs landed on the beach in Gallipoli in modern-day Turkey. They began a very bloody campaign, a losing battle, a real baptism of fire for the newly formed nation of Australia and New Zealand. Now, behind the Senator is the General Post Office, the GPO. Built between 1866 and 1891, they originally thought it might be a fine hall between London, Houses of Parliament and Big Ben. It's nice, but I think there's, who we heading, right? Now, it also doesn't take this entire building to run the post office anymore. There's mainly a hotel, restaurant, a gallery, and a couple little shops, including a tiny little post office over in the corner. And around there. Now, the clock tower up there really marks out which building the GPO during the Second World War. And it was quite a high value body. So in 1942, we took the entire clock tower out, left by brick, and put it underground in the storage. We finally put it back up in 1964. We used to be noticed, right? But we also found a word written on the inside of the bell up there, and that word was eternity. Eternity had been appearing all over Sydney since 1932. We didn't know why until 1956, when we found Arthur's face bent over the pavement, writing eternity, beautiful, chalk handwriting. Now, Arthur was an alcoholic, illiterate, witty criminal until 1937, when he heard his reverend in church say the words eternity, eternity. I wish that I could sound or shout that word to every person in the streets of Sydney. Arthur took that as a personal call. Every day he got up at 4 a.m, went to a different area of Sydney and wrote eternity 30 or 40 times around the place for people to see on their way to work. They estimate that Mr. Eternity, as he became known, wrote the word eternity 500,000 times around Sydney. It's a pretty good effort for one alcoholic criminal who still couldn't sign his own name properly. Now, the only example of eternity written by Arthur, one is on a sheet of cardboard in the National Archives in Canberra. The other one is on the inside of the bell up in that clock tower. Though it is only written in chalk, so it probably won't last forever or for eternity. Mr. Eternity behind the airline. Doing pretty good job, but
Ayan, tol. Tawagan natin si Parang Dexter.